Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full-time
MMA.
Luke Rockhold vs. Chris Weidman 2 is in the works for UFC 230 at Madison Square Garden, and of all the middleweight matchups, this might be the one I'm most excited for. Now that's a little unfortunate because this is the only one that's not official. We heard about Jacare Souza taking on David Branch at UFC 230, and then just today we heard about Yoel Romero being scheduled to face Paulo Costa. But former champion Luke Rockhold versus former champion Chris Weidman is a rematch that I've been waiting to see since UFC 199. That's over 30 UFCs ago whenever they were originally scheduled to fight. Chris Weidman was injured. Michael Bisping stepped up on short notice, and we all know how that story played out. Michael Bisping shocked the world, became the champion, and we never got to see this rematch. Michael Bisping went on to fight George St. Pierre, so that really threw this whole middleweight division off track as far as Chris Weidman and Luke Rockhold are concerned in their rematch. Now, with that being said, it looks like we might be getting to see the rematch at Madison Square Garden, but it won't be for the title. With or without the title, this is still going to be a great fight. I'm sure Chris Weidman's still looking to avenge that title loss to Luke Rockhold, which is how he lost his belt. And Luke Rockhold's going to be looking to bounce back from a tough title loss to Yoel Romero in that interim title fight at UFC 221. But even in the meantime, in between time since UFC 199 all the way until now, both of these guys have remained at the top of the middleweight division. I mean, in the top 5 the entire time, so they're definitely two of the best middleweights in the world, and either one of these guys could really be the champion on any given Sunday if they were given that opportunity. But at middleweight, it was a little log jammed, just a little, when Michael Bisping was the champion and George St. Pierre was coming back in that whole debacle. But now that all of that's out the way, we got Robert Whittaker fighting Kelvin Gastelum after the Ultimate Fighter Season 27. And the winner of that fight could very well be fighting like the winner of this fight if it actually comes to fruition. I could for sure see Luke Rockhold or Chris Weidman challenging for that title next. I mean, they're definitely two of the biggest names in the division. They're also two former champions who have been remaining at the top of the division, as I said, for the last fucking 2 or 3 years, and that's hard to do. This is a very tough division. I mean, this top 5 used to consist of Yoel Romero, Jacare, Luke Rockhold, and Chris Weidman. Robert Whittaker was on the outside looking in. He had to come through and go through 2 of those killers to get to the title shot. So this middleweight division has always been a very stacked division. I mean, all the way down, you got guys coming up now like Israel Adesanya, fucking Paulo Costa. Like you got people that are up and coming killers. You've got proven killers, and you've just got legit contenders in this middleweight division. It's a super dope division, and this would be a great fight to add to UFC 230. Now, with that being said, it would be the 3rd middleweight fight, all at Madison Square Garden, which, I mean, who really cares about the weights? I don't think fans are like, oh, we don't want to see 3 middleweight fights. But it would still be somewhat surprising, or just something to point out. I'm not sure if this fight's going to come to fruition. The other 2 fights are official. This one is just in the works. It was reported by ESPN that this rematch is in the works for UFC's return to Madison Square Garden at UFC 230. Now, one other thing to keep in mind is Luke Rockhold and hell, even Yoel Romero. Both of these guys have talked about moving up to the 205-pound division, but now it looks like they're both going to be at least fighting one more time at middleweight. And if they win, who knows, maybe more. But both Luke Rockhold and Chris Weidman are actually coming off of injuries, so maybe that's why this fight's not official. They probably both have to be healed up before you can schedule a fight, but it is being worked on, so it looks like their injury timeline might be up around UFC 230 as far as when they can return. But Chris Weidman was dealing with that thumb surgery, I believe, and he had the setback, so he was out even a little longer. And then, of course, Luke Rockhold had that leg surgery when he was supposed to fight Alexander Gustafsson at UFC 227. That was being worked on. So both of these guys coming off of injuries, both of these guys top middleweights in the world, and they fought once in the past. Both of these guys former champions. Would be a great rematch. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments about a potential Luke Rockhold versus Chris Weidman rematch at UFC 230. And before we get out of here, we got 2 days left. I actually have to go to work tomorrow and the day after, so not sure how many videos are coming out. So with that being said, keep in mind, full-time family, we got the offer from my dog Yank, my dandy doodle. You can see it right here, not that picture, but right there. He said he will match all donations made to the fund within the next week. There's 2 days left, so with that being said, it is what it is. If nobody donates, don't give a fuck. I'm still going to be grinding, but if you do, huge opportunity for the channel and the full-time family. So let the full-time family know what you think in the comments.
Da 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 da! It's the motherfucking DOJ.